Right, this is a quick video of the content to IP pipeline. Uh, First of all, the problem this solves is it takes expert content that we all get, newsletters, books, courses, podcasts, talks, things that live usually individually, and you read them and you forget all about them. But for this, for all of us information hoarders, what we want to do is we want to feed them into an engine that turns them into some structured content that can be useful in some other way. So that's what this pipeline does. It's got a methodology that I won't bother to read to you, but it goes through some steps. It is a pipeline, and then it creates what I would call derivative or follow-on assets or forms of the content because it's looking at it in its aggregate shape. So it creates things like checklists, rubrics, worksheets, playbooks. Um, and what can happen with this is it can create products uh, as a result. It can create courses, it can create agent skills, you name it. Really, your imagination is all that's limiting you. You get essentially the knowledge base cooked up, and then you can talk to it through Claude Cowork or Claude Code and ask it questions. So, what I have done here, real quick, I fed it the zip file that you would get from Gumroad, and it asked me some questions. Essentially, what kind of knowledge base are you trying to make? I won't go through the details, but you could probably pause the video and see. I asked it to create a Claude Code knowledge pack. Um, and after I ran through the questions, I just said, hey, go through and pull all the Claude Code documentation that you can find. And you could kind of read through this. It found 59 official Claude documentation pages, and it goes through and talks about some of those. And then I asked it to run the pipeline. So now that it found the sources, go off and figure out the essence and the structure that would make it into a knowledge base. It went and applied its rules for what's good content and what's bad, and you can see that it accepted uh, quite a few articles in its rating system, but it also rejected some, and eventually summarizes up what it created. And then I asked it, hey, go ahead and create a course for MCPs, just something that Claude Code can do um, based on your knowledge of the knowledge pack. And so it went off, and you can see kind of the conversational content as it's telling me what it's done. And then it essentially created this. I've scrolled it all the way down, but this is a course in Markdown. This is a mermaid chart that would probably render if I was actually on Claude.ai. But this is a way to teach somebody what MCP means or how it works. And here is the presentation version of that, which I don't know why we're 429ing, but let's see if I can hit it one more time. File access was denied. Oh, that is a big bummer. Um, what you would see is you would see 12 slides of an MCP course that were not done by me. It, in conjunction with Claude itself, created. They're very attractive slides, and you could use those in some sort of coursework, whether you're teaching at school or teaching online or wherever. So that's um, the working with Claude. Here is actually the code base, I guess I would say, starting with the source files that were given, and then the raw ore after it's been processed, and the mining and the cataloging, and figuring out the logic, and then building the assets. You see agents, checklists, playbooks. If you look at these are all markdown files. And in the end, you get some interesting stuff. you can now talk to this code base. You can build those products and so forth. The Claude.md is very key, and it explains essentially what we told it to do in the co-work session. This is a Claude Code knowledge pack. It talks about its purpose, talks about how the pipeline works, and gives the structure and what should be in the file system. So this is really good for creating products, courses, even consulting practices and methodologies, diagnostics, things like that. You can essentially take all these newsletters that you receive, all these stray articles that you read, put them in a knowledge base, and then bring that to bear in some other form instead of just reading them and forgetting about them. So that's what the content to IP pipeline does. Cheers.